Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's me, everyone, another manga volume review. This is going to be on volume 5 on Delicious in Dungeon, and it is brought to you thanks to Yen Press. Thank you again to Yen Press for not just providing this for me, but also being a great company and supporting the U.S. with translating and providing also hardcover, but just physical copies of manga here in the U.S. They're probably one of the best companies that you guys can get your manga through, and you guys can buy their manga through basically any online website or store that is here in the U.S. Anyways, guys, before I continue with my volume review, a few things. If you have not done so by now, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Make sure you go check out the first 4 volume reviews on this series that I have on my channel. You might have to do some searching. I'll try to include maybe a playlist or something like that where you guys can find them all. But this is a series that I've been reviewing for quite a bit now. It might be more than a year that I've been reviewing this one. I have the latest 4 volumes, and I really want to continue reviewing it because I stopped halfway. I don't know why I did that, but because I've been collecting the volumes. So I will continue reviewing this for you guys from now on. Anyways, lastly, guys, there is a spoiler alert, so I will talk about it in some detail, so you guys have been warned. Okay, Delicious in Dungeon, for those who haven't seen my reviews and are still watching at this point on this series, the genres, I'm going to put it in, it's a food genre. When I say food, I mean they do cooking, they do stuff like that. Now, it's different because most food manga or anime is based on real stuff. This one is based off animals and monsters they kill in a dungeon. So although it's similar to a lot of dishes that we eat here in this world, it's quite different because it's monster meat. And then secondly, I would say it's a dungeon survival type of a series with mystical creatures, right? So it has a little bit of everything. Now, at least for the first volumes, the series has kind of followed this formula where they meet a creature, they kill the creature, they eat the creature, right? And that's kind of what most of the volumes have been. Volume 4 was leaving that kind of structure behind a little bit, but Volume 5 completely left that behind. Now, they do still cook in the manga, I believe about 3 or 4 times, but it's a quick thing and it's not the main point of the volume. The thing I like about the 5th volume, and I think I'm going to be liking the rest that I read, 6, 7, and 8, is that it's more focused on the actual story. Now, it had always had a story before, but it now has a more focus on the story, which I personally am enjoying. We follow our familiar group of misfits: Laos, a human being; Martial, an elf; Senshi, a dwarf; Chochek, he's kind of in the middle of a dwarf and a human; and then Fallen, Lao's sister. Now, Fallen was finally found. She was kind of rescued finally in Volume 4. They have been traveling through the dungeon just to find her. Volume 5 starts with her basically being controlled and leaving the group once again because of the dungeon magician. Essentially, this magician takes her away from them and disorients the group, takes them away from it. This happens in a way where Chochek basically says, we have to go back to the surface, we have to regroup, and the other group say, no, we're going to continue, and Chochek leaves the group, and for a chapter, he basically is figuring out, what the group means to him, and he finally returns to tell him again from his heart, like, I care for you guys, but you're hurt, Laios is hurt, Marcel's mana is weak, Senshi probably doesn't have resources, and we're all tired, and we need to regroup. We have to go back. I'm not saying we're not going to save Fallen, but we should go back and regroup, get some other help maybe, and then come down. And Senshi agrees with him. I think Senshi realizes what's going on. He understands that Laios, if he continues pushing through as hard as he has so far, he probably is going to collapse at some point. So they finally decided to go back to the surface, but throughout the rest of the volume, they figured that the witch or the magician of the dungeon is shifting the floor so much that they can't find the exit. Eventually, they do find the exit at the very end of the volume, but they just can't there. Now, this series, and it's very easy to find out what type of creatures there is, because the creatures that they see typically in the volume are all here in the back. So they see the wyvern, which is controlled by the magician. The sea serpents are actually seen by a different group, which I'll mention them right now. And then they do see the cockatrice and the dryad. The dryads are dangerous as well, because they're very much like I guess mermaids for mythology speaking, where they seduce you by how they look, but they end up wanting to basically eat you up and leech on you. So, anyways, this basically the series moves on Laios learning some magic, Mercial being stonified and then eventually saved by Laios, and Senshi, he kind of doesn't really do much in this volume, and Chochek eventually, basically, we find out that he is, at least at some level, has some type of feelings for the group, like he cares for the group, right? So there's some growth in each character in this volume. The volume also has a main, like 2 or 3 chapters focused on Kabru, a leader and another group. So this group, completely different. They basically, they've been trying to look for Laios and his group because they were taken advantage by them. So they're trying to figure out where they are so they can pay back, right? They do pay back to a group who has been following them from the beginning, which is basically they recover bodies so they can be revived in the surface, and then they can charge them for rescuing them, right? So they attack them and they get rid of them. But at the very end of the volume, Kabru and his group is part of a bigger group who the leader happens to be Laios' friend. Laios, if we think back, was with Fallen in a different group, a little bit bigger group, and I guess this guy, who is now a leader of a huge group, was one of his partners. So Kabru finally, his group has finally met up with this other group, and I guess Volume 6 is going to be Kabru's group interacting with Laios. And Kabru's group in itself is unique. They have a dogman and other creatures as well in their group, and they're very smart. They know what they're doing. They've gone this far because they know what they're doing, but they're also kind of following Laios. So Laios and his group are clearing the floors before they even enter it, right? So they're kind of in the safe side. Anyways, guys, great series. I do recommend it. Go check it out. There's 8 volumes, I believe. The 8th volume is going to be part of my next manga haul, so make sure you check out that manga haul where I'll be showing you guys quite a bit of books for you guys. Also, I will be reviewing to volume 6, 7, and 8 eventually. Thank you again to the Empress for providing these books for me to react and to review for you guys. Again, check them out. You can find the Empress almost anywhere. You can go to the link down there below where you guys can buy cheap anime and manga through Right Stuff. They have the Empress. Or you guys can go to Barnes & Noble. You guys can go to Amazon. The Empress is basically anywhere in the U.S. and a lot of parts of the world as well. So, thank you guys so much for your love and support. Make sure you subscribe. I'm trying to reach some 3,300 subscribers, not 7,300. I wish I was up there, but 3,300. So make sure you subscribe. Make sure you comment, like, share this video so other people can watch it. You guys, I will be reviewing to more chapter reviews in the next few days, but the next anime season is coming up, and you know what that means. When that comes up, I typically take a week or two on just giving my first impressions on the different series that are airing. So make sure you keep up with all those videos. Thank you again for your love and support. And guys, like always, don't be strangers. See you guys.